Okay, so we're catching up with joint under-23 boss Kane Rive, and I suppose it's been so long since we've had a non-camera interview that we ought to probably rewind a little bit and go back to the end of last season, which ended rather abruptly with you at 10 points clear at the top of that suburban Premier Division. Long time now, let's not dwell on it, but do you see it as disappointment? Do you see yourself do you just call it champions elect? How do you look back on that season?
I mean, we didn't win nothing. It is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah, we are disappointed, and the lads really, I felt they deserved at the end something from it. But it is what it is. It's been and gone, and in some ways, it's sort of done us a little bit of a favour. The lads that we've retained from last year have come back, and they're quite determined, really. Without us wanting to do it, that they're quite determined that they're gonna finish, if you want, what they started last year. But our target still remains for them to individually do well, and if we can do well as a team in the process, then that's brilliant. But yeah, it's been and gone, unfortunately.
So talking of last season's squad, then how many have you got back? Are there many new faces that will be coming in?
So we have moved a couple on, and I use that phrase opposed to letting go because we've moved them into a couple of lower, the Skeffel level. So two have gone into two respective teams there. And one young man has gone on to university. He's gone to Reading, so I believe he's in and around the Slough town team up there, just through distance. So he's gone to uni. And Mason is currently with Charlton, and it looks like Mason hopefully will get himself a scholarship and maybe an early pro with Charlton. So they're the ones we've sort of moved on, or however you want to phrase it. And we've obviously held trials. We had 102-ish applicants, or whatever it was. We looked at 40-odd lads from a sort of 30-odd mile radius, and there's one young man we've signed, so we've brought a new one in, and we're still looking at a few, as well as looking at the academy that I've watched play 2 or 3 times in the last couple of weeks, and the 18s as well, that we watched on Tuesday night, and obviously they've trained with us all last year, so we're trying to progress the kids through those avenues if we can, and obviously there are a few good, local lads knocking about, so we are adding, but we're not really finished yet. We've got a long, what we preempt has been a long pre-season yet, and that's if it starts when it's meant to.
Obviously, good to bring new people in, but as you say, it must be good to know you've got that resource there from the academy, from that under-18 team as well, that if they're not featuring every week, if there's an opportunity, if someone is perhaps working or is injured, that you've got a resource there in those teams below.
Yeah, our aim is to bring kids through the academy and the youth system. That is our first look. If I'm honest, if you're coming from outside in, you've got to be better than what we're producing internally to come straight into the 23s, to be honest, because the idea is that we try and promote that structure. And if we don't start, we haven't done it over previous years, let's be honest, we haven't been producing internal players, and we've got to start somewhere. So if myself and Simon don't support that structural pathway, then it's never going to pick back up again, and that's going to take a while, but I think we've now got five lads that have come through either the youth system or the academy that are currently and played in last year's squad. So it is working to a point. Now the key is, can we get them from us to the first team? So it's always good to have, but we've got to make sure that we're recruiting not just at 23s, but we've got to be recruiting through the whole system for it to be productive.
So the first team obviously not due to start back until the first weekend in October. Your league could be getting underway as early as mid-September, so obviously you're in the pre-season mode now. 3 friendlies under your belt. How have they gone?
Like most pre-seasons, patchy, I would describe them as, to be honest. I think in parts we've held ourselves well. I'd like to think in all 3 we dominated possession. In saying that, in the Kent Football United game and the Stansfield game, we wasn't clinical enough in an offensive position, and we wasn't callous enough in defence. So, although I would say we dictated the game between the 2 boxes, at either end we wasn't effective enough, and a 2-2 draw with Kent Football United and a 1-0 loss at Stansfield leaves you with that. But unlike most pre-seasons when you had the lads have 8 weeks, 7 weeks or whatever they do, and they tend to play 5-a-side or lots of football in between that, obviously everyone, the whole country has not been able to play any football at all. So it might take them a little bit of time, and I think, Guru Nanak has, they put up a resilient fight, if you like, but in the nicest, most respectful way. We were quite far ahead in respects of standards, and we started to see it. But even in re-watching the game back, if I'm really honest, that should have been 11 or 12, not 7. So we need to start learning to punish teams when it comes around, to be honest. So it's been alright. Pre-season so far has been fine. We've got a lot of games left, and we're still looking at people and moving things around. And with the heat, we've effectively been playing 2 teams. So it's about managing people's bodies after 5 months as well, and making sure they slowly get back to fitness, opposed to release them straight back in and it causes problems.
I was actually going to mention that, because obviously when you come back for a normal pre-season, you've had perhaps 6-8 weeks off, depending on when the previous season finished. There's obviously a 5-month gap. So in terms of just individual player fitness, were you impressed that they had kept themselves ticking over the summer, or was there some work to do there?
I'll be honest, they come back probably fitter than they went, to be real honest, because I think it's like lots of us, even us, you lose all the niggles that you had over periods of time. So any sort of ailing injuries that you've picked up tend to go. A lot of the lads, because they're young and either not working or they weren't in education, they spent most of their time running, cycling, whatever it might have been. So a lot of them come back in a better shape. And obviously with Luke Jenner and Antonio DeVivo, who looks after, Luke is the head of medical for Maidstone now, and Antonio looks after the analytical side. Obviously they're all tracked in all the games, and they've had vests over the summer, and we've got various clever digital support now. So they've been tracked the whole way through. We didn't set them anything, but we tried to get them to maintain. And also, like, for us it's learning, but for them it's learning. So, you play at a pro level or you play at a good level, you don't go away all summer and do nothing. It's about trying to repair your body, but slowly maintain what you have. So we've used this time to educate them a little bit. And for the ones that have come back fitter, that's great, but you've got to translate that into football fitness, which is sometimes different.
VCD Athletic under 23s on Saturday. Again, people have had to watch live on the stream, which we're currently testing out. Are you aware of that squad? Do you know the people who are in that team?
No. Richard Dimmock is the manager there, so obviously you know Dimmo from many years of playing. So Dimmo's the manager, so that's really why we picked the game up. Obviously, myself and Simon played for VCD, so we are aware of the club. Obviously, unfortunately, we had Paul's Foley's funeral recently, which, so again they've got that link between Maidstone and VCD. So yeah, it's a nice game to play. It'd be the first time that the two clubs face each other in a long time, and it'll be the first time their 23s have ever come together, because I know it's a new thing for them and it was new for us last year. So again, it would be nice to play and see where we are against under 23s teams again. For them and for us, it would be good to see where we are. And I'm expecting a tough game, because Dimmo's quite resilient. He's an old-fashioned non-league man, so I don't expect them to be a pushover by any means.
And finally, just moving off the 23s, the FA Youth Cup schedule was published by the FA today, so we know the dates that are coming up for that in September and October. You'll be involved with that as well this season? Yeah,
so this year myself and Simon will take on the FA Youth Cup with the support of Tony Burchard and Jimmy Bodle and the other guys involved in the youth system. So opposed to previous years where it was sort of allocated to a particular part of the club, like in other things, we're trying to bring things together. So come Monday, we're looking at all of the academy players, the under 18s players, and the 23s players that can qualify, let me say, to play. And hopefully we'll put a group together that can do a little bit better than maybe we have done in previous years. It's hopeful at the moment, but hopefully, and we've started earlier than previous years, so we got a little bit of a run up to it. And also what we've had the beauty of is last season, Jim and Brad in the academy Tony and us, we have all been following a similar format. So, unlike picking out at the beginning of last year 3 teams that played a totally different way, what we've got now is a start of a format that the teams are playing under. So when they come and work with myself and Simon, it's not going to be a totally new concept to what we're asking them to do. So, like most things, you need a little bit of luck in the draw. You don't want always to play the best team first, but we'll see how it goes.